When I was doing my research for Terry, it came up in conversation about the Windrush, which is, for those of you that don't know, the Windrush is the ship that landed in 1948 with the first generation of Caribbean peoples that came to England. Someone mentioned to me, it was a woman born around that kind of age group, and she said to me that everyone's talking about the Windrush, but what about the pre-Windrush generation? And I said, yeah, what about the pre-Windrush generation? Nobody talks about it. It's as if it never happened. And the lady said that she went to an event and she wanted to say that, but she was too afraid to say it because she was shy. And I'm thinking, yeah, what about their voices? Why is it that it's not been heard about the experiences of the pre-Windrush generation um, in England? And there were many. I know what will really be interesting to find out is to find out how long perhaps the first pre-Windrush person ever came to Haringey, or even London. I think that's going to be an undertaking, a lot of research. But I know one lady who's a friend of mine who shall be nameless. Her dad came here in 1939, so there's a start. In my own family, let me see, the earliest person from my own background that came to England pre-Windrush was 1914. In fact, it was two. Yeah, my father's uncle came here in 1914 to fight the war. Sorry, yeah, around that period, and he he went back. I think he migrated to America afterwards. Also, another relative who shall be nameless, and well, yeah, I'm not going to say who they are, but they shall be nameless. And they became quite a prominent member in Jamaican politics. They ended up studying at the University of Cambridge University. They studied law, I think, at Cambridge University. Yeah, and one day I will tell you who that person is, but I won't tell you it now. So I don't want to. It's not necessary. Yeah. And that's as far as I go back in my own family history with England. Uh, and then there was also something else that came up in the various different conversations when I was doing my research. Is that there was a lot of people who was born after 1958. Yeah, a lot of people I found. I went around asking, okay, do you know anybody that was born before 1958? They said, a lot of people said, yes, they did, but they were the ones that went back to the Caribbean and came back here in the 80s. Those are the ones that were born here and left when they were young. Yeah. So that came out of it as well. I didn't realise that a lot of people just a little, well, just probably in their touching 60, something like that. A lot of them were born here during the 50s, if not earlier. So there was that, but there was what is surprising. There's very few people that was actually born around 1950. I found one or two, I think, towards the end, but not people that I knew. And it's quite interesting. So I'm sure they're out there, but it's to find out where they are and if they're willing to talk. You can't make people talk, can you? Yeah. And their experiences are their own. Yeah, and we have to respect that. But it'd be nice to know what it was like growing up during those days. Yeah. What do you think?